Food and weight obsession can be exhausting. Losing weight, gaining weight, dieting, feeling like a failure because you missed a workout, binged, overate, or gained all the weight back. The cycle is endless and it can be maddening. But I'm here to say you can stop the mental madness. You can take back control of your food behaviors, but you have to face your fears, you have to ask for help, and make a change. I am Leslie M. Thornton, permanent weight loss coach from hpwl.co. This is Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss, and I know you can make this happen. On this podcast, you will hear how to stop the mental madness, love your body, trust your food decisions so you can create a life of happiness, freedom, and inner peace. Why can't I stay accountable to myself? I am a woman of high integrity. I hold people to their words. I pay attention to what people are saying. And for myself, I don't actually do what I say that I'm going to do. Why can't I actually stay accountable to my own word with myself, despite being someone who values integrity? This question was asked last night on a coaching call, and I am excited to address it on today's podcast. And it's something that I think we could all relate to, right? Of why, if it's somebody else needs something, or I know that someone else, is counting on me for something, there is never a time that I am going to fail them. I am always going to be right there. I'm always going to do it. But why can't I do it for myself? Well, first thing I want to say is that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you, the fact that you can't stay accountable to yourself. It's just an awareness. It's just an interesting factor. And of course, it's aggravating. It's frustrating. And a major reason why we can't stay consistent on our goals, weight loss goals, any goals. If you're not being your word with yourself, then how can, we establish any kind of successful goal? How can we complete any actual goal? So no guilt and shame as the always starting point. You can take a nice deep breath in of just forgiving yourself for any things that are out of alignment for you, or, any hardness on yourself that you're being today. The number one killer of transformation is ego judging ego. So no self-judgment, just, that's an interesting observation. I'm really integritous with other people and expect that from other people. And when it comes to myself, I'm not. So what's the deal? Perfect. From this state. The place that I want to start is to talk once again. I've said it so many times on this podcast in the last however many years I've been doing it, 4 years, that there is a difference between integrity and perfectionism. So let's just start with the definition of integrity. So integrity is doing what you say that you're going to do, and by when you're going to do it. And if you're not going to do what you say that you're going to do, you say that you're not going to do it, and any consequences that come with that, and what you're going to do instead. All right? There is no guilt. There's no shame. It is what it is. Okay? Versus perfectionism, black and white thinking. Okay? I have to do this or else something bad's going to happen. Yeah? Or, basically you just have such a high standard for yourself, and it's like, oh, well, I'm always my word, and so I need to make sure that I am perfectly following this diet or else I'm a failure. What's wrong with me? Right? That all of that, hard self-talk comes in. I'll share with you that in the past, I completely blended those two definitions. Okay, so when I followed my super strict food, body, and weight program in the past, I was like an A++ student. Okay, I followed that thing perfectly. I had all of the rapid weight loss. People were coming to me and saying, how are you able to do this? I want to, all this type of thing. So like anytime that we're able to actually stay consistent on our diet, it's great while it's great. Seeing the scale go down and that dopamine rush, and continue to get that external feedback of people saying, you're doing awesome. How are you doing this? Like, it's like, like I feel so good about myself. Like you're like having this high. Yes. And at what point does the other shoe drop? Okay, so with dieting, always as the example here at Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss, but apply it to any goal that you have. It's like whenever any major life event happens, something challenging, something emotional usually, then all of a sudden, we aren't being perfect anymore. And now we're going down that slippery slope. We're eating in ways that are completely opposite of what you were doing before, despite waving your flag saying this is the best way to do it and I'm going to eat like this forever and I know how good this is for my health and I know how good this is for my energy, right? Like, yes, and we are human beings and perfectionism is not possible. Right. So it's, I had a client who graduated a couple weeks ago and she was like, it's just not practical for me to actually think I'm never going to have sugar ever again. It's just not possible. And there was a time in my life where I was like, nope, it absolutely is possible because I'm a food addict. So it's just not even in the cards for me. But I still ended up having hard things happen and I still ended up turning to the food. So that didn't work. And then the repercussions of putting myself in that perfectionistic box was me binging and being very scared of gaining weight and gaining weight and all of the negative stuff that comes with being off your diet, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So here's what I learned as far as how to, right, be accountable to yourself. So while I was following that super strict food program, one of the things that they had you do every day, and I'm sure as a dieter, you've probably done something like this before, is you wrote down all of your food that you were going to eat the next day. So this was to the 10th of an ounce, how much of what you were going to eat, weighed and measured the next day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and you did not sway off it ever was the goal. So if I wrote down 6 ounces of black beans, 2 ounces of oatmeal and, 1 apple, then I would have to the next day wake up and eat only that and measured to the exact 10th of an ounce. Okay, so in and of itself, obviously when that works, it works. And when you have integrity with it and you feel good and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing what I said I'm going to do. And right, I'm getting all that positive feedback. But there was one night where I was writing down my food and I felt this inner voice inside of me. It was like this whisper inside of me as I was writing down what I was going to eat the next day. Say like, you're not going to eat that. So the next day I was going to like a 4th of July picnic by a lake with friends. And I knew there was going to be all the picnic barbecue foods. There was going to be the treats. There was going to be the fun, happiness, all of the rest, right? And so I knew this, and there was that whisper inside of me that was like, you're not going to eat what you're writing down. But I overrode that whisper. And I was like, nope, I have to. And so I wrote down exactly what I was going to eat the next day. I packed my meal so that I wouldn't have to have any of the food that they were cooking at the party. And what happened? Well, I got to that party and I ate that food that I brought, but then I saw all the yummy things. I ended up eating, I think, something like 6 brownies in a row. And I went to bed that night fearful, terrified, and all of the mental chatter happening. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that. That is so bad. You're a food addict. See, you can't trust yourself. Like the inner battle was real, and that carried on for days afterwards. Why did you do that? It's like an inner traumatic response that happened inside me. You have no willpower. You can't do this. It was like this huge thing, right? And I know that all my clients can relate to that kind of thing happening. Just last night, a client was saying how her whole life experience with weight has been, she'll step on the scale in the morning and then see a number that is higher than she wants to see, but then she still ends up eating more. And then she ends up beating herself up for eating more. And then she starts to think about how can I lose the weight fast, fast, fast. And then she's upset again. And then she eats again. And then, right. And it's that vicious cycle. Yeah. And one of my clients is like, you've just described my entire last 30 years of my life. And it's like, yes, that is the vicious cycle. Yeah. And the way to get past that is to actually penetrate through all of that crazy, right? Hard on yourself and all those emotions and the fears and the scarcity and the lack feelings, through emotional mastery, through hypnosis, right? Through the inner actual work. So there I was, and frustrated, defeated, scared after eating all of these 6 brownies. But here's what I learned. I looked back and I said, when I wrote my food down yesterday, I knew there was a whisper that said I wasn't actually going to do that. And rather than listening to that whisper of truth, or at least inquiring about it, and me trying to override that voice, I and that I did. I tried to override the voice rather than listening, inquiring, right? It was just like, no, I'm going to be perfect again. But the thing is, that little whisper and that inner voice, like that truth, consider that is your actual truth. Your actual truth is like a quiet feeling that can come through, right? Like think of the last time that you were ever like really sure about something. Like you just had this feeling. Maybe it was like when you knew you were ready to have children, or maybe it was like when you knew you were ready to say yes to getting married to someone, or you knew that this college was the right college for you, or you knew, if you're a current client, as you were listening to this podcast, like that this program was speaking to you. Like there's that quiet inner like knowing, or like, wow, there's something and I'm inspired. And like, so then you take the action and then things start opening up. Yeah. So when you are in black and white thinking and you're like just trying to be perfect all the time, right? Consider that it's like it's overriding your ability to actually listen to your true self. Okay, in my new masterclass, which if you have not listened to it, please listen to it. It's awesome, but we do the heal process. So the hypnosis, emotional mastery, aligning to your true self. Yeah, but consider that if you've been stuck in your head about the right, wrong way to do everything and the should, shouldn't way to do everything, the very masculine way of dieting, that you have gotten out of practice, or you have never practiced actually knowing your truth, your actual intuition about what's right for you in this moment and what will feel best to you. And so the better that you get at listening to that voice. So if I had actually listened to that voice that night saying like, I actually really want to have the brownies and the cookies and the hot dogs and the hamburgers and the soda. Like I want to be able to enjoy those things tomorrow. Like it's important to me on a social level. It's important to me on like a just let loose and have like that party feel level. I didn't have that level of awareness. I just had a lot of fear and anxiety and a lot of make wrong and judgment about any of that kind of stuff. But that's what I would say now. But to have that real conversation, it's like, for example, a little kid, if you told a little kid like, oh, we're going to this 4th of July party and it's going to be so fun and there's going to be all these people there and we're going to be able to swim in this lake and da 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 da. And there's going to be so much food there and everybody's going to be eating it and everybody's going to be sharing it. It's going to be a lot of different things, a lot of different fun foods, but you can't have any of that. Like you're not allowed to eat any of that. We're going to bring in your own food. We're going to have your vegetables and your whatever, just the same as anybody else. Like how is that little child going to feel? Like really sad, right? Like really disappointed, maybe confused, angry. Like, what do you mean? Like, how come I can't have that, right? And everybody else gets to have that, right? There's just like, there's something about it that, and like, if you saw a parent doing that to a child, like literally like packing their own lunch and it's like a kid's birthday party or like a family thing and like they really wanted to have a brownie and you're like, no, like that's bad for you. Like you cannot have a brownie at all. How would you think of their parenting? And obviously that's relative. It's subjective, right? Because some people might be like, oh, that's great parenting. Like, yes, sugar is bad and all of that kind of stuff. I wish I could be a parent like that. And I think a lot of us would kind of feel for the kid of like, he's a kid. Like, of course they want to have some sugar, Like, yes, you want to moderate those things as a parent, but like, depriving that also can't be healthy. So, why as adults do we think that it's healthy for us to completely deprive ourselves of that either? And I get that it's after years of not being able to trust yourself and of having, binges and way overindulgences in food and weight gain and all of this type of stuff that puts those kinds of restrictions on yourself. But like I've said in the past, it's the fact that we never healed the root cause of the overindulgence or the inside workings of why you're so obsessed with that in the first place. If you've heard the podcast episode I did on Weight Watchers, it's like the woman who invented Weight Watchers was eating a whole box of Little Debbie's cakes locked in her laundry room away from her family. And because she still lost a couple pounds that week despite doing that, there, became born Weight Watchers of being able to have, whatever you want, and still be able to lose weight just with the point system and all that kind of stuff. But why was the Weight Watchers woman binging in her laundry room locked up from her family in the first place? Did she have a fight with her husband? Is she unhappy with her life? Did she not have enough support? Did she have something else hard happening in her life? A parent aging? What was it? What was the cause of that in the first place? And consider that if you just do that work and understand, like, why am I not able to control myself? What do I need to put in place? Is it mindset? Is it emotion? Is it, support? Like, what is it, that's really getting in the way or causing me to actually do this weird behavior? Then you get freedom. Then you're like empowered over it. You're like, oh, that's cool. So like, oh, wow. So let me actually get support over that situation. And now, like, that binging behavior goes away. And next time anything like that comes up again, I know how to deal with it powerfully because I'm committed to my personal growth within myself in that area. Okay. So part of not, having the binges or feeling good about yourself and staying committed to whatever you said that you're going to do with your food, body, and weight stuff, having integrity in that area of your life, is not denying what your truth is about what you actually value currently on your health path and in your life. So oftentimes I'll have clients come in and they are conflicted. Part of me wants to lose weight and part of me wants to be able to have a normal, healthy relationship with food. And I'm scared that if I actually go and have a normal, healthy relationship with food, then I'm going to gain a bunch of weight. I'm going to be a failure. Then I'm going to be disappointed in myself. And like this whole negative spiral is going to happen the other way. Totally makes sense. 100% understandable. I've been there and all the rest. So there is like an art to learning how to better listen to yourself. And our program teaches you how to get better and better at that, like getting into the body. I shared last week about how one of the challenges that a lot of my clients have is to actually feel their feelings, right? So if you also feel like you can't tap into that well or at all just now, like know that there is hope for you and you can absolutely learn how to do that. And the good news is that the complimentary clarity call that I have with people that sign up for one is to support you in getting clear on that for yourself, right? Because the truth is, I talk to some people and they're like, I want to lose 20 pounds. I know that I just need to get back on track. I love working out. I love eating healthy. I just can't crack the code for this weight loss. Yeah. And obviously I dig in deeper with them. But if after digging deeper, I get like they really are just looking for a personal trainer or a nutritionist to like actually just get them back on track, then it's like, this is not the right program for that person, right? It's like, then go and do that. And if you didn't hear last week's episode on the difference between nutritionist, personal trainer, and hypnosis for permanent weight loss, you can go and check that episode back out. Versus if I dig deeper and it's like if you could wave a magic wand and have it any way that you want, how would you want it to be? It's like, I just want to be able to enjoy my summers. I want less stress and anxiety around food, body, and weight. I want to learn how to love and accept myself. I want to be present. I want to enjoy my food. I want to have consistency with my weight. Just last night, I had a client, and when she started, it was like, I'm going to lose this amount of weight, da, 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 da. And obviously, yes, I support her goals. And there was also the identification of the stress, the anxiety. She feels guilty and upset with herself every time that she makes, ate a sandwich. All right. And it's so like, okay, but last night she actually came to the table, and it was like, so you could tell it was just like such her truth of being like, I just want joy in my life again. I want love in my life again. I want to experience like actually being in love with myself and my life and accept myself for the first time and actually just invest in me and my happiness, not anybody else's, but mine. Like, I'm sick of yo-yo dieting. I, in the past, would starve myself to get into a dress for a wedding. And I, don't want to do that anymore, because immediately after the wedding was over, I'd begin stuffing my face and end up, all the way back up with weight, or, even more weight at the end of the day. And like, it's just like, okay, even though we never like that pattern, consider that like, if you're listening to these conversations, like your soul may actually be ready for the transformation, right? For that like opportunity to actually make peace in this area of your life. So, and the thing about that, the way that it works is like, we need to help you learn how to love and accept yourself as you are right now, right? And learn how to make peace with your food right now. Allow yourself to not be scared of eating food and get past all the triggers of stepping on the scale, seeing a photograph of yourself, putting on a pair of pants that are too tight, putting a bathing suit on right now, right? So you can just enjoy yourself right now. And from that space of now, which is the most powerful space you could ever master to be in, like inspiration comes in, that quiet, the intuition. You're able to hear your inner self. You're able to know what this next chapter of your life is about. And you can start to totally embrace that and own that. Okay, so if you do have that clear knowing within yourself on what this chapter of your life is really about, right? So it's like, is this chapter actually about like healing? Have you just gone through a really hard time and you just know that you're overeating because it's emotional, and like, you know that you don't have the bandwidth to stay consistent on any hardcore masculine structured diet? You've tried it, you fail it, you can't do it. And so you want to go in on this opportunity to master emotional eating during that time. Then like, yes, then the Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss Fast Track to Freedom program is perfect fit for you, by the way. And sign up for the call with me and let's get you started. But if it's like, oh, like my truth is, I actually want to experience true love. I've had bad relationships, and I know that the reason I want to lose weight is not actually for me. It's because I don't feel like I'm attractive enough right now. And I don't think anybody could love me at this weight, right? It's just like, so one thing I need you to understand is that if you're trying to lose weight for anyone else besides yourself and it's not your truth, it's not going to work. It has to be your truth to work, right? And that's really the whole thing about like being in integrity with yourself, is like, if it's not your truth that you want to not eat gluten and dairy, and that you want to never go out to restaurants, and if that's not your actual truth, like the inner truth, like your real desire, your real feeling about how you want things to be, then you're not going to be successful in doing that. Yeah, but if your real truth is like, I do enjoy my wine, I do enjoy going out with friends, I want to have that, I don't want to deprive myself anymore, then it's like, then that's what you're going to get. That's what you're already getting. The only difference is you haven't caught up. You haven't fully owned or given yourself permission or declared or said, yeah, I know that I could be skinnier. I've done it before. And it's not what this is about for me. I don't want to do that right now. I don't have the bandwidth. It's not where I'm at right now, et cetera, et cetera. It's like amazing awareness, right? And again, that's just where the truth comes in. So, but when it comes to going back to the thing of like, I know I want to experience real love in my life, you get to use your food, body, and weight stuff as a catalyst because if you learn how to love yourself just the way you are, like that's going to have it so that what you're putting out there as you're dating or meeting new people or trying to reignite the spark with your husband, like they are going to feel that you have that kind of loving connection with you. And that's how like true love can actually exist. So that's what I did for myself. Like I recognized that if I didn't fully love myself in all the different aspects and like not be engaging with myself as broken or something's wrong or whatever, like I was not going to attract a true loving partner. We get who we are, right? And so, then you can choose to use your food stuff like I did to get you to that space of loving and accepting yourself, and then have the confidence to be able to put yourself out there and date and feel better about yourself, which yes, leads to better decision making and then weight loss, at the long run. But if you're constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough as you are now and something's wrong with me and I can't stay consistent, like that's forever going to be something that's an obstacle in your way. Good. So to summarize, do you know your personal inner truth about what you want more than anything in the world at this time in your life? To specify with your health right now, what is it that you want more than anything in the world? If nobody was looking, if it wasn't about somebody else or dating or an external thing or a job, if you were on an island all by yourself and you could do anything with how you were being with your health or anything with your health right now, like what would you want to master? Yeah, I saw a coach post recently that she had like this vision board, and she had all of these like she was putting into for her future like designer bags and right like a fit body and Rolls Royce and a like Rolex watches and da 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 da. And that's fine. Those are fine desires to have if that's your unique truth. And she said, I achieved all those things, but now looking at this vision board, I wish I put different things on there. And what she said was, I wish I actually asked for no anxiety in my life. I wish I actually asked for more peace in my life. I wish I asked for deeper relationships. I wish I asked for more spaciousness. I wish I asked for more fulfillment. Yeah, and my experience has been the same. Like there have been, probably in the last year, that has been my main focus is like, I just want emotional and mental peace. I want to not feel any anxiety day to day. I just want to, so all of the focus has been just like, and not on trying to get to some impossible goal, which can be so toxic as people who are hard on themselves and high achievers. I just talked to a client this morning. She's actually a dentist, and she got this coaching on achieving your impossible goal and visualizing your impossible goal and being your impossible goal in the future. And trust me, as a neurolinguistic programming trainer, right, as a hypnotherapist, I 100% believe in the power of visualization, and going towards what you want in your life, and like the power of living and acting and being as if, like, yes, I love it. But for someone who has not yet cleared out the major negative emotions, the guilt, the shame, the fear, the hurt, the sadness, it can actually do the reverse. Okay, it can actually make it so that you feel worse about yourself, that you're even more burnt out, that it's even harder. So like, you might be like, oh, okay, like I want this like hot, skinny body and da 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 da. Again, the way you're only going to know if that's actually true is you want to just feel if it's that quiet whisper that's saying that's what you want, or if it is like a should, like, yes, like I'll be good enough when I hit this, like I'll be important when I have that, I'll be able to get to my next level when I look this way. When I eat this way, then everything's going to come together. And it's like, no, like it's just, if it feels like this reach, like ego almost, you just really want to watch out for that. When you tap in for yourself and it's like, what is my inner truth and knowing, right? Like what what would feel the best to me? And you actually take spaciousness to look at that. Again, I've had thousands of conversations with people, and peace, joy, presence, family, fulfillment, relationships, happiness, right? Spiritual connection. Like, these are the things that people are really actually desiring, you know? And we think that the weight loss is going to get us that. We think that that is how we get it because we've experienced that dopamine rush of feeling that high and that whatever and all of that kind of stuff. But what would it be like if you can actually learn how to stay consistent with your inner truth and know that that is actually the fastest, most efficient way to have you live your most authentic life and have whatever is meant for you actually be able to come in. It's everything from the heart space. It's from the love space. It's from the just that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful space that exists. And sometimes we cannot hear it because the brain is moving too fast. So again, if you feel major negative emotions ever around food, body, and weight stuff, it's not normal. It's not normal. And consider that you will always be a yo-yo dieter if you do not actually pay attention and heal that stuff, that anger, self-hatred, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, shame, that's just hanging around there. That's the emotion that's causing you to eat. That's the emotion that causes you to binge eat. So it's like, tackle that and you're creating a spaciousness in your body. So I was working with this dentist, it's like, my sense for you, and she agreed with me, is like, it's currently not the time for you to go into your impossible goal and to go after that. Like, your emotional and mental health is priority right now. Yeah, like, we need to support your nervous system, your emotions, your mindset, you know, to free up enough space. And sometimes the truth is where you're at, like, there's so much that's not meant for you in your space right now. Like, it's just, you need to take it one action at a time. And it's like, yes, visualize, but maybe not right now, right? Yes, go after, you know, the weight loss goal, but maybe right now you're being asked to actually be with what is right now. And that will create the readiness for you to get to the space, to have the bandwidth again, to like do something different with your health that might inspire you at that time. I'm also seeing this currently with a coaching program that I am coming to an end with. So I've shared before with my financial freedom kind of, you know, journey that I've been on, and it's going awesome. I haven't been talking about it lately because I'm just feeling really good, thank God. And applying just all this work to that and understanding that it's just like, yeah, just focusing on service and we're always taken care of. And just loving people and just like wanting to see who needs help. And it's just like been great to just kind of get back to that, because to be honest, I was in that position where I was coached in this space of being like, what is the impossible goal? And like, I was like, all right, I'm going to go all the way for it. But it was on top of the fact that I still had a lot of these emotions going on. And so this whole last year has been like a healing process. And the coach that I attracted was also doing a lot of this inner healing work around the money aspect, right? That brought up other aspects, obviously, because it's never really about the money. It's about all the other things inside, internally, our thought process, our beliefs. And now I'm in a space, you know, a year later where it's like, wow, I feel my energy coming back. Like, I'm excited to, you know, to just be here every day and to be in service every day and to talk with clients and all of that kind of stuff. I always love talking with clients, and, you know, there's times in life that are a little bit more challenging. It doesn't feel as vivacious as I've been feeling now, you know? So, again, it's owning where you're at currently and being aware of that and listening to your inner self of like, what actually is this space about? Is it about go time and like personal trainer and masculine, or is it about feminine, inward healing, getting past the emotional stuff, getting past the triggers that constantly are there, getting past your food obsession, knowing that it's, you know, there because of all of that internal stuff that's been there your whole life. And then once you're clear on that, which again, if you need to schedule a consultation with me, my calendar is there, right? hpwl.info/consult, book a call. right? My job is to help you get clear on that call and give you my best advice on which direction I think you should go. Once you're clear on that, then you take action. You get into a coaching program to get your brain focused and focus all on that, right? We're happier when we're focused on one thing at a time. But if you're focused on Weight Watchers one day, intuitive eating another day, keto another day, like scattered, unhappy, unfocused, not productive, like leads to more negative self-talk. So even today I booked a consultation with another coach, and, I had questions because I was unclear, and I had part of me that wanted to do this and part of me that wanted to do that and saw this and that and the other thing. But I know that coach's job is to help me see clearly and give her expert advice. And I take that in. And she actually, gave me amazing advice, and I'm probably going to be investing into her, $30,000 coaching program. But that wouldn't happen without that first step to take that action. So again, if you need help getting clarity, right, that's what that call is for. So that's the first action step just for yourself. Even if you don't do anything else from there, what's the hurt of booking a call and finding out? Once you have that clarity of your inner truth, it just gets to be easy. Yeah. And then that integrity follows of like, wow, so I'm working on food freedom right now. So therefore, of course, I ate the bread and butter at dinner. Wow. Like I'm working on like allowing and accepting all foods and not making any food decisions bad or wrong. So of course I had the ice cream. Right. And it doesn't mean that old tape isn't going to start playing and say, you shouldn't eat that. That has so much fat and you're going to gain weight and da-da-da-da-da. But then that's the stuff that we go to work on, right? You have your Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss app, and you can put it on to question those beliefs, to work through those upsets and that, negative traumatic spiral that happens in your body. Right? So then you can breathe, you can feel happy again, you can take control over your state at any time, and you can't unlearn those things once you learn. Like, what would it be like for you if you could literally control the way you feel at any time within minutes? Like, that's what NLP does. That's the power of the work. It's absolutely extraordinary. So listen to your inner self. If you don't know how to do that, learn how to do that. This program helps you do that. And then start focusing your energy and watch how you can stay committed to your word, have integrity with yourself, because you actually do what you say that you're going to do. Yeah. And life changes. You're not going to be able to stay consistent with the same thing for the rest of your life because your values shift, you shift, what you want shifts, right? There was a time where I really valued following that really strict food program and like really valued the learnings I was getting from it. Then I had a really big breakup. And I also realized that all of my, food behaviors and habits were still under there, right? It was just like holding on for dear life to this structure. But if the structure fell apart, I fell apart. And so I was like, that's not stable, right? So that's when I was like, I'm healing this food, body, and weight thing once and for all, right? And everything that I invested in, which was multiple things, I have put into this program and made it into a solution for people who know that once they turn this page, right, and actually are able to move past the drama, like you just get to become who you're meant to be. It becomes present. You're present to what is next for you, what your next step is, versus constantly staying stuck in that same rat race, which I do not want for you if you do not want that. So you know what to do. Book a call for yourself. Get clarity. hpwl.info/consult. If you have not listened to my masterclass to hear about the HEAL method, it's completely for free. So definitely just go and text the word hypnosis to 1-855-232-5483. You'll get prompts as you're listening to the podcast, anywhere that you listen to this podcast. Love you so much. And until the next time. If you are serious about taking action on your struggle with food, body, and weight, then this is for you. Go ahead and text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483. Immediately after texting that number, you will get access to our free training that will tell you why you can't figure the food, body, and weight thing out, why you can't keep weight off even after you've been successful in the past, and how to actually overcome it, including a mini hypnosis session at the end. Don't miss out. Text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483.